Sky sat in the corner of an abandoned building, listening to the strange sounds. His large eyes stared into emptiness, and his face seemed paler from fear. The city of Sprunki had changed in one night. The streets were deserted. He heard the screams of his friends, but the voices sounded distorted and frightening. Sky felt cold down his spine, a premonition that soon something terrible would happen. The transformation had begun, though Sky didn't fully understand it yet. Dark veins spread across his arms like roots beneath the skin. The pain behind his temples turned into a burning pulse, as if something was trying to break out from inside. Sky stumbled onto a playground covered in black slime that pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat. In the distance, he heard the wet sounds of other creatures, and a terrible hunger began gnawing at him from within. Sky no longer felt pain, only a terrifying pleasure from how his skin tore apart. His mouth stretched impossibly wide, exposing rows of sharp teeth that grew with bone-crunching sounds. In the basement darkness, he heard weak breathing and felt an overwhelming urge to tear that flesh to pieces. His arms lengthened, fingers becoming clawed appendages that ripped through concrete walls with ease. Sky understood with horrifying clarity. He was becoming the very monster he had fled from. Sky's hunger consumed him completely, but not for food, for the terror of other living beings. His body became a mass of pulsating flesh, with exposed organs visible through translucent skin. He cornered survivors in an abandoned supermarket, slowly approaching as they scrambled in panic. His face had split vertically down the middle, creating two halves that moved independently with needle-like teeth. When he attacked, his body unfolded like a grotesque flower, revealing a circular mouth lined with hundreds of tiny eyes. Sky's transformation reached its horrifying peak as his body became something unrecognizable and monstrous. The infection had spread through every cell, turning him into a living nightmare of flesh and bone. He moved through the ruined city with supernatural speed, hunting anything that still drew breath. Other monsters avoided him now, sensing a greater predator in their territory. Sky felt nothing but savage joy as he embraced what he had become, the apex hunter of Sprunki. Sky had become the undisputed ruler of the transformed city, a being of nightmare and pure predatory instinct. His body could morph and shift at will, adapting to any situation for maximum lethality. Other monsters worshipped or feared him. There was no middle ground in this new hierarchy. He remembered fragmented pieces of his old life with disgust and amusement. The city was his domain now, and he would reign eternal as its darkest god. Sky's seventh transformation shattered what little remained of his sanity. His body split into multiple forms that could act independently yet were still one consciousness. He watched himself through countless eyes as he hunted the last survivors hiding in the underground tunnels. Each new form was deadlier than the last, designed by his twisted mind for maximum suffering. Sky had become a god of nightmares, and Sprunki was his eternal kingdom. Sky's consciousness shattered into infinite fragments at the moment of his ultimate transformation. He became both everything and nothing, existing in all places simultaneously. The city itself became an extension of his will, bending to match his thoughts. Other beings could no longer distinguish between Sky and their surroundings. He had achieved transcendence, but at the cost of his own identity. Sky had transcended all physical form, existing as a concept woven through reality itself. Other creatures carried fragments of his consciousness without knowing why. The city of Sprunki became a living monument to his transformation, warped and changed by his presence. Every being there bore his mark, unable to escape the weight of his existence. Sky became the living embodiment of transformation, eternal and inescapable. Ready for a challenge? According to statistics, only 3% of viewers manage to like the video and subscribe to the channel before the timer runs out. Write a comment if you made it in time. At the apex of his transformation, Sky finally understood he was never meant to be human. Every scream that echoed through Sprunki, every creature that fell before him, every moment of agony and ecstasy, it was all leading here. He stood as the ultimate being, a towering monument to mutation and survival. The world bent around him, acknowledging his supremacy. Sky was no longer winning a battle against his nature. He had become it completely and utterly. In the final moments before his complete transformation, Sky experienced a flash of his former self, a brief, painful memory of the sad creature he once was. But it was too late for regret, too late for redemption. The Sky that existed now was something far greater, far darker. He embraced the eternal hunger, the endless power. When dawn broke over Sprunki, nothing remained of the world that came before. Only him, eternal and absolute. Sky looked back one final time at the world he had destroyed, finding no regret in his monstrous heart. Every transformation had been necessary, every sacrifice meaningful. He had transcended the limitations of flesh and become something eternal. The cities of Sprunki would crumble to dust, but he would endure. Sky spread his wings, if they could still be called wings, and felt the infinite power flowing through every cell of his being. He had won everything by becoming nothing human at all. Centuries had passed since Sky transformed, yet the city of Sprunki remained unchanged, frozen in time at the moment of his ascension. Other creatures sometimes questioned if he was even alive anymore, or if he had become something else entirely. Sky walked through the ruins with no purpose, no hunger, no desire. He was simply there, an eternal witness to a world that had long forgotten how to fear. The transformation had consumed everything, leaving only a hollow god in its place. The question Sky finally asked himself after 1,000 years was simple. Had he been saved or destroyed? The transformation had given him power beyond measure, but taken everything that made him human. He wandered Sprunki's ruins and saw not a kingdom, but a monument to his own emptiness. Sky could still remember the taste of fear from his first moments of change. Now he felt nothing at all. He was eternal, but eternity had become a prison with only himself as its prisoner. Sky wondered if somewhere in the multiverse, other versions of himself had made different choices. Would they have fared better? Worse? It no longer mattered. He was here, in Sprunki, watching time move impossibly slowly. The transformation had frozen him, not just physically, but spiritually. Unable to evolve, unable to change, unable to truly die. He stood as a monument to his own choices, understanding finally that becoming everything meant becoming nothing at all. Sky had stopped counting the centuries long ago. The transformation had reduced him to a mere spectator of his own immortal existence. Sprunki crumbled slowly around him, brick by brick, while he remained utterly unchanged. Other monsters worshipped him, but he felt no connection to their devotion. He had become a monument to his own hubris, magnificent, powerful, and completely hollow inside. Nothing could touch him anymore, and that was his greatest punishment. Sky realized that power without purpose was simply a slow descent into madness. Centuries melted together into one endless moment. He had transformed into the ultimate being, only to discover that infinity was just another prison. The city of Sprunki crumbled piece by piece, and he could only watch, powerless to stop the decay, unable to feel anything anymore. His immortality had become the ultimate curse, trapping his consciousness in an ever-degrading world that offered no escape.